listening to It's Your Health Radio.
Hi, I'm Lisa Davis. So glad you're listening to It's Your Health. It has been far too long since I've had the fantastic, I was thinking Felicia, Dr. Felicia D. Stoler, America's health and wellness expert on the program. Hello, Dr. Stoler. It's so great to have you back.
Oh, so good to be back.
No, we always have so much fun. All right, so let's jump into this. New ways for beating your fall energy slump. The first one is slack off on sugar. So important.
Yeah, I know. You know, I feel like we say this all the time, but people just aren't doing it.
All right, so how do we get them to do it?
Especially because I feel like everything's got pumpkin spice and apple spice this time of year, you know, and then everything else in between. Yep. So, you know, I really want to encourage people to look for, you know, foods that are higher in fiber. I mean, I love fall produce because you've got apples, you've got pears. The other thing I really like, you know, people think about pumpkin just for jack-o'-lanterns. You can actually eat pumpkin. There's some varieties that are edible, and I love all the squashes that are out there, and what I consider more of like the, you know, we go from summer squash to more of the fall squash, and eating things like butternut squash and spaghetti squash, and acorn squash is my all-time favorite. So, yeah, you know, you want to go for high-fiber, low-glycemic foods, and adding things like lentils and quinoa also can be really great, you know, for adding some other plant-based nutrition to your diet. You know, I think it's about adding some protein and fiber to your carbs when you're having them so that you don't feel like you're crashing.
Yes.
And then, you know, another thing is to make sure that, you know, the fiber is important not just for helping you to feel full and also to impact the glycemic index of the food, but also to help you go to the bathroom, right? Because we're often on the go, and sometimes if you don't go, you don't feel good, and it's one of those things that a lot of people don't like to talk about. But, you know, in my office, we're always having potty humor and talking about the unfriendly. But let's face it, even celebrities have to go to the bathroom. We all have to do it. And making sure that you go is really important. And I see this a lot with patients, especially women as they get older, and even kids have issues with it. And you know, it's like nobody really wants to talk about it, but, you know, we should be having bowel movements at least once a day. And when people have challenges with it, I often say, hey, look, let's look at your fiber intake. Let's make sure you're drinking enough water. And if you're not getting enough fiber, what are some things you can do to add more fiber to your diet? Like I know I mentioned lentils and quinoa before. Like lentils that are you know, a legume, they have fiber in them and protein. Quinoa, while it's a grain, also high in fiber. Looking at labels, it's not enough to just see that something's whole grain. You have to actually look for grams of fiber. The typical American diet has less than 20 grams of fiber per day. If anything, it's like closer to 10. And we need to get at least 30 grams of fiber per day for gut health. So I recommend that people consider taking a fiber supplement. One that I really like, an ingredient I really like, is called Sun Fiber, which is made from guar, and it's a gluten-free fiber supplement, and it's colorless, flavorless, odorless. It's found in a number of different products. One that I happen to really like is called Regular Girl because it's combined with probiotics. So the nice thing is probiotics need to have some fiber to actually help them to work. It's like giving them food. Like I had a client who came to my office the other day. She was asking me about a whole bunch of probiotics, but she wasn't taking anything to feed the probiotics. They need nutrients like we need nutrients. So that is one that's been symbiotically paired, so it's giving the right food to the right probiotic so that it maximizes its